daily practice. That's at 11 today for anyone that wants to join me for our free 5-day challenge. It's no sign up. All I would say is at the end of the 5 days, I will invite you to join my membership if you enjoyed what we do, which is the price of a coffee a month. So that said, that's at 11. I thought Monday we will still do meditation Monday, so a little bit of housekeeping, but I wanted to pull a card because the energy, and talk about the energy of this week. We have this, to me, is the actual new year. Energetically, this is the new year. That's the way I feel about it. This is the shifts. We've got a new moon. It's the first new moon. We've also got the Chinese New Year. So we're moving out of the wood dragon into, so the Kundalini energy is moving into the wood snake. So it's shedding its skins. And I've spoke about this and I spoke about the download energy that came through for the energy of this year is about that fight or flight mechanism and how it's evolving. That's what's actually truly growing on the physical. But what does that mean in nuts and bolts of that? Well, the last week of this month, I just had a look at the energy report that we did at the beginning that I did for my members, to like for myself, because it's for me as much as it is for you when it comes through. That's it, written down, done. And one of the notes that I'd put that actually Maitland, so Jamie Butler, had said about crystals was tiger's eye for this week. It'd be helpful for where we're challenged in this plexus. And I thought, oh, now that makes so much sense, because this feels very physical shifts, the physical layers of where we're shedding, where we're releasing, the detoxification of the body. So it's really helpful for that. So movement practices were suggested, obviously, hence why the 5-day challenge that's why I'm doing it now, for anyone that wants that lift in the energy and to work through it. It's a really good way of, it has that high frequency energy is flowing down to move the body. So on the spiritual level, on a physical level, lots of the people I know, including myself, over Christmas, this high energy has brought with it this feeling of lethargic, tiredness, a bit like, and this is the way I always explain it to my members, that if you've got a plug socket and you've got too much energy going through, that can blow the fuse. That's why you can feel, so too much energy can make you feel tired, as with not enough energy. So it has a similar physical effect on the body as an ascension symptom. So I think the reason that has been happening throughout Christmas is lots of us were feeling it in preemptiveness, those that feel the energy. So for example, if you're someone that you get the energy of the full moon, like myself, prior, some people feel it on the full moon and some people just feel it just after. That can give you an indication of when you'll get it. So as it hits, I get it before it hits. Some people get it as it's hitting and other people just after hitting. It's so, and this is like, so the Christmas period was that preempt of when that energy was coming in, the big shift. It's almost as if because we're in tune with the energetical body, subconsciously, although we may or may not be aware of it, we're getting ready for those physical shifts that are coming in. And they might be showing up as stuff that you feel like you've dealt with. So you might be thinking, hang on a minute, I haven't felt achy like this for years. I certainly have had weird stuff going on, that's for sure. And I realised also I'd got back into those old subconscious habits of not, what's the word? Even though I've got this checklist, ground, movement, meditation, lemon juice, celery, all those things I know that help with the ascensions, with the shifts. Even though I have to say, throughout Christmas, my lemon juice was my cornerstone of my habits that stayed through, as with the meditation and even the movement. And I thought, oh, I'm not doing my classes. It's not I'm not doing any, but actually I was doing a little bit each day still. But because I'm so used to, in my mind, thinking, well, if I'm not doing an hour class at 6:30 in the morning, then I'm not doing a movement practice. Instead, I've been doing little things. I've been doing little tapping. I've been doing EFT, which is based on the Qigong meridian tapping points that you use in Qigong. So, or they say ancient Chinese medicine, but basically it's the points that we tap in acupressure. So all of those things, little things, incrementally can still help us. But I knew that my body needed a rest. I knew that my body wanted, so I was, my instinct was kind of warring with the mental, going, you need to be getting up and doing things and moving around and doing this and eating that and doing this. You know that will shift your energy. So I could feel this kind of blanket of energy coming in. You ever felt like that, where it's like this, you can feel, some people like feel it as, oh, there's this emotion or this a heaviness, this treacle like energy that you can't just do what you could do before. So in the energy report, I said about the path walked before, you cut the road that you walked before, the things that you did before, you can't do anymore. Timelines have shifted now. So this is that shedding of skins. We've shedded those layers collectively of certain timelines, and we can't, that those things that we may have done or gotten away with in the past, if you like, and then kind of ignored, can't be ignored anymore. They're there because they need to be cleared. They've come up. It's like stuff floating on the top of the water. It's come up to the top of the water so you can clean the scum, if you like, energetically out of our fields. So that's what's happening now. This is happening on a collective level with huge heart energy. So energy that as our heart field is opening, think of it like a flower opening, like we do in meditation often. As that's happening and you're drawing that energy to you, it has to go through your lightsaber, which is what I call the lightsaber. It has to go through the central column of light that runs through the body. And it, through these layers, as it goes through these layers, it's like a water filter. Think of it like pouring water, liquid plasma, but pouring water through all of these filters, like you would if you ever made perfume as a kid, or played around. I remember in the garden as a child, we'd put stones and you'd put water and dirt and you'd wash the stones, and you'd take the dirty water and you'd put it through. That was it, like with stones, just playing through and seeing how it filtered, and then doing the same with perfume and petals and stuff, and how it filters through different layers. And you would use stones to do it. You would mess around, and I remember doing that as science. That was quite fun as a kid in the garden, messing around. But the same sort of thing is happening to us. So if you think of those layers, those stones, and the layers of all of the experiences, could be collectively soul collectives, so family traumas through your line, through your heritage, through your soul family. It could be the things that we're working on, like, for example, I'm going to use me as an example because it's easier. For me, sugar, wheat and grains are something I'm trying to get out of my body, because I've realised, let my little summer, or is she just playing? Let's let her in. Come on in. Good girl. You beautiful. So collectively, where was I? So yeah, the grains and stuff out of my diet, because for me, when I'm channeling, and this isn't, I'm not saying this has to be you, but for me personally, to hold those higher states as they're coming in to channel or to express soul language, light language, love language, as I call it, increasingly so, that energy shifts, it comes in, it lowers, but to where we are, I have to raise my frequency in order to meet it. And part of that for me is eating of the light. So I have a vegan diet. Others don't need to do that. For me, that's why grounded to me is eating root vegetables. Some people have to ground with meat. I appreciate that. That's the way that that's for them. It's not, everybody is different. And you might be, hang on a minute, you're vegan. How can you say that? It's personal choice, I believe. I think that when you ethically and energetically get to a certain level, you're drawn to certain diets for that reason. And it might be that it's your diet that you start to change your life, or your spirituality is what you start to change in your life, all of those things then start to balance, and they all go along different kind of, okay, well, that's working now. I've wanting to eat cleaner, and I want to eat healthier, and I want to move my body more and exercise more. And now I'm realizing that the mental health is important just as much, and it's the mind, body, soul connect. All of them are connected. In Qigong, we don't separate them as mental health, physical health, and emotional health. They're all part of the work practice, which is what Qigong means. So I'm going to, or energy flow, hopefully put this here, and the cats hope they don't knock my phone over. I thought it would be great to just pull a card for this week. And I keep saying I'm going to do this, but I will do the whole year one. I think we'll start from February and do it to next February, so to this Chinese New Year to the next. But as I've said in the previous video, all of these themes throughout this year, the energy of the snake, if you think about the snake, is the serpentine, it's medicine, it's the two snakes going up the spine is the symbol that we have for medicine. It's about healing the heart, healing the body, healing collectively. All those themes run through all levels. She's just jumped on the pillow behind the phone. Will the phone stay up? She can smell her treat bag, bless her. So let's pull a card for this week. And obviously wood themes, because it's the wood snake, is growth. And again, if you think of a tree, it bends through. Wood is pliable, it expands and contracts, and that's kind of how we're needing to learn to be, to kind of energetically contract when we need to energetically, and expand and open when we need to. That's what this year is going to help us to learn how to do. So for this week, what do we need to know? She says, let's try and pull it in front so you can see how I do it. Okay. Time, how are we doing for time? I don't want these videos to be too long. Keep them short form. Waterbird, speak your truth. So let's see if I can sling this round so you can see it a little bit better. Speak your truth. Hang on. Apologies for the movement. It's a bit shaky, isn't it? Ooh, there we go. I haven't got one of those stick things that people use to hold it, so it's just me holding it with my hand. So I do apologise. So what I'm seeing is this is the river, the sunset, the reflection, in a sense, the truth. Well, for those of you that have been following me, that are following like-minded people, you'll be much aware that the truths that are being revealed at the moment, things that are coming out in society, fully will be completely out by 2026. So this year there's going to be more stuff. It's going to be like a constant, quite fast, in the fact that you'll have one thing and you're like, oh my god, blah, 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 1 week, and then the next thing, oh my god, another thing. So because the heart is opening and it's making us see through the eyes of that emotional body, and allowing us to be compassionate and empathic and more in tune with each other, and wanting to, like, your heart going out to someone, it's wanting to help, wanting to be the best that we can be for other humans, and seeing ourselves in others, seeing that unification. But in order for us to get to that point, I mean, the whole of us, not that you guys that are listening aren't already there, by all means, I believe most of us are, but not everybody is, and everyone in divine timing. So it's kind of allowing from that. There's going to be much news. A stalk to me is like that symbol of bringing the news, like bringing the baby, or the stories of like, I was bought by a stork. The news is going to be twofold, the reflection. So you'll see what's going on energetically, the news being brought, the liquid light, solar energy, the sun, And also that's going to be mirrored because it's going to be bringing that to light in the depths of the water, in the underside of your subconscious, the things that you know and things that you don't know about yourself coming up for you to align to be the best you. It's also about being honest with yourself. You'll see much more people will be honest about their emotions and how they're feeling. And this is a good time, a good week to do that, to speak your truth, speak from the heart, but aligned with the highest. So we don't just go "Bleh" at someone with like, "Bleh, you've been doing it," because it's an attack energetically. It's like you're slapping someone around the face. And I've had that done to me. Believe me, it's not very nice. When someone is just emotionally in that negative part of their field and they just are lashing out like a wounded animal. It's not that kind of truth telling. It's the opposite. It's the aligned with love, speaking the truth from the heart, being able to not fight each other with a truth, but seeing truths revealed, having revelations coming up, intuitions about yourself, about your own growth, about where you're going. And remembering, like I was saying, this is the new year. So this is the true new year. So all of those resolutions that you set in our calendar, in the tax calendar year, the Roman Gregorian calendar year, this is more aligned with the cycles of the sun and the moon, the silver and the gold, the masculine and the feminine, sovereign self. How we're going to reset our own structures in our own being and how we're going to move forward. So let's see what it actually says, or what the author says. Oh, what else is coming through from me? You see how there's little birds. It's like this is the different flocks, the different birds of a feather, the different light alignments of energy, the different groups of energy that are flying together, that are sticking together, that are in alignment with that frequency, that resonance. Also, this is like the river, and either side you've got these cliffs. It's a distinctive path, a distinctive new path. There's that way to go. You're flowing. You've either got to fly or just sail along the top of the river. So swimming with what's coming through. There's some really dreamlike energy at the end of this month that's great to work with in the like Akashic energy, working with lucid dreaming. So you can set an intention before going to bed. This can be helpful at the end of the week. But think of planting the seeds of the soul. Think of planting the seeds of self, but not self as in selfish, selfless. It's the self as in the I am presence, that this is who I am. I'm okay with all aspects of that. So the sun shines on all your affairs regarding news that's coming through on a more superficial level this week. And still waters run deep. What else? Okay, I'm going to read now what it says on the card. What does it say in the book? What are we, number 10? So, water as well. So it's almost like the emotions are taking flight. The emotions are being lifted. So intuition and inner knowing cards. These come under, no, these are the opposite. These are wisdom and communication cards. Speaking your truth is yin water in the heavenly frequency, helps us tune in to the quiet voice of wisdom. Yin water may be calm, but it can still contain hidden mysteries. in its depths. We can still see through easily when the water is clear, but it takes patience to wait for the mud to clear in the murky waters. To me, that seems like that paragraph is a metaphor for the whole of this year, in a sense, of the truth. There's lots of us are like, finally, now the truth's out there. We feel like we can be validated in a way. That's not quite going to happen just yet. 2026 is when that will happen on a more mainstream level. But it is out there. You're seeing on a grassroots kind of more people aware of what is happening, so that things can shift. So things are happening, you're thinking, oh my God, it looks worse than you think. But that's because people need to see it to shift it. They need to see the dirt on the windows in order to know to clean them, to see through them. The bird, a pure yin metal sign, reminds us that water, we say, is a reflection of our inner state. That's also really important, because what we're seeing outwardly is a reflection of what we are creating inwardly. Once that is penny drop dirt, then we realize that we are creating this, and we can create differently as we choose. And that's really important for this new moon. So what is it you want to create? And hold still on that focus with yourself first, in how you want to be, because that is a micro macro reflection of society and the collective and joint, and part of Gaia mirroring out, and the shifts that are aligning with our body too. So the waterbird pillar guides us to truthful in our communication. When we speak your truth, you also live in truth as you learn to differentiate truth from your thoughts and see things as they are. Ooh, that sun. Ooh, feel that sun on me. It feels amazing. Through self-reflection, we also be better able to accept the self as we gradually stop judging or harming the self with negative thoughts. So I think, was it Yasmin wrote in her moon diary, I think, about, what was it? Because it was for Fash. It was like, if your views are negative around cash, for example, and lack, then it's time then for this new moon to set different in how your relationship with money is. And that's on all levels. What's your relationship around love? Are you, here's a good example for those with like the relationship, oh, I'm always attracted to the wrong man, or blah blah blah. That's the story, that's the energetic blueprint that you've been putting out to the world, and therefore experiencing, because that's the template that's running, that's the record that's running, that's the frequency that's aligning and tuning to. So how do you adjust that? If that's there, so you say, that's my experience, that's what I've experienced, so therefore that's what I experience. It's aligning like a tuning fork. Knowing and knowing are the lessons. It's living, feeling, breathing it. And coming from someone that is worked through and gone through those levels, it's like, well, yeah, but how do I get there if I don't know how that feels? You look for similar and like things that do feel that way. You look for the little bits, or you let go of it completely, letting go, wipe the slate clean and focus on something completely different. And in that time that you're not focusing on the not having, or that you're always in those guys and blah blah blah, in those thought patterns and that radio station, you naturally tune to the ones that, like, oh, I'm watching a comedy and I'm laughing all the time and I'm experiencing fun with friends and stuff. Then it sort of shatters all the other records around you, so that you can then keep playing. It's only when you then goes back to that and it's stuck in that groove, you've got a sense of, at the moment, okay, I'm smashing those records. I no longer want to listen to that radio station. I've broken the button off, if you like. It's stuck on this one now, this one of joy, excitement, expression, acceptance, loving myself regardless. It doesn't matter who loves me, because I love me for who I am. And then knowing by doing that, by respecting the self, if you like, but not in terms of, right, well, they don't respect me, so I'm not, why should I bother with it? Because that's a different frequency. Words may say the same, but frequency, you hear the difference in the way it's expressed. So the water bird pillar guides us to the truthful in our communication, so how we speak to people. When we speak your truth, you are also living in the truth as you learn in differentiating truth from thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer, I'm always saying in our meditations, and see things as they are. Through self-reflection, we also will be better able to accept the self as we gradually stop judging or harming the self with the negative thoughts. Truth, after all, doesn't judge or make assumptions. The card is an invitation to develop a higher awareness of self through self-reflection. What's her name? Judgment Detox book. If you can read through that book, if you can go on a judgment detox, it's a really good lesson and learning growth path for anyone that is maybe spiritually bypassing or not realizing they're spiritually bypassing, because that's a whole other level, I think, that is happening. It's part of that. We talk about the ego and death of the ego. Actually, your ego isn't a bad thing, but when you're in that state of feeling like you need it to die, it's normally because you haven't aligned to be in a place of acceptance of what it is and who you are, and become what I call judgment free first of yourself, then that naturally reflects of others too. Can start by keeping a daily journal of your thoughts and your feelings. Do your words reflect who you are? Are they aligned with your actions? And can you hear your true self when you speak to others? Do you speak from the heart? Do you speak your truth? So, message from heaven. Our mind, like water, gets muddy at times. Wait until the mud is clear and calm before you speak. Check your alignment. Are you aligned with your heart before you speak? Is how I would word that. If you are speaking from the heart in loving kindness, great. If you are speaking from a place of pain, from a place of reaction, from a place of being triggered, wait. Make mental notes of those triggers, write it down, get it out, and allow yourself to witness through your own journaling what that process of energetical shifts of the emotional field that's happening within your mind when you're having those thought forms. So the bird knows that our reality is a reflection of our thoughts. Speaking kindly to yourself from a place of love and truth will embrace you. I will end this video with a simple thing from Rapid Transformational Therapist. Oh my God, what is her name? She's famous, and I can't think of her name either. Oh, I'm not good with names. I can see her with her beautiful blonde locks. That's going to bug me. British lady that's worked with like Diana and loads of famous people. Anyway, I like to quote who it is that I remember, but she talks about saying, at the core of everything, all therapy is knowing I am enough. If you've got I'll leave that for it's just say, put up a little thing on your phone. So at a point in the day, if you know when you tend to have a lull, so it comes up with a message, a reminder to say to yourself, I am enough. To say and do mirror work with, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough. And obviously you can do things like EFT, emotional freedom technique, and tap in. I deeply love and approve of myself. I am enough. And sometimes that might feel uncomfortable when you first start doing it. If it does, work through those shifts and allow journal, make note of, and see how you grow and shed your wood layers throughout the year, not just this week. But as I said, on a simple bullet note for this week, for those just joining, it was invitation, news of the sun, so the light revealing the reflection of the inner, of the subconscious, of the reflection of our truth, and to speak your truth from heart with kindness. Speak your truth with the waterbed. Okay, love and blessings. Thanks for joining. Have a beautiful Meditation Monday. I'll see you later if you're joining me again for Meditation Monday. And at 11, if you're joining me, remember it's free. Just go live on here. You'll see it for our day 1 of our energetic Qigong challenge. Energy shift, raising our vibe. Thank you.